With the school year starting and many controversial issues on the left and the right to discuss, debate, and protest, people have been talking about free speech on college campuses. Two conservative Republican state lawmakers have come up with a new bill that they say will ensure all points of view are represented at Ohio's public universities. State House correspondent Joe Ingles has details.
There aren't any flags or signs in the windows of this Ohio State University dorm in Columbus this year because of a new policy, and some students are not happy about it.
Instead of just banning what people would consider hateful and hurtful to everybody, they're banning everybody. Like, we can't even have an Ohio State flag, we can't have an American flag in our window, we can have nothing.
For its part, OSU says it has a long-standing commitment to free speech and defends the new rules, saying they're consistent with the First Amendment. But OSU students aren't the only ones complaining about the violation of free speech rights these days. Two state lawmakers say they've heard complaints too, so they've come up with what they're calling a Free Speech Act.
This is not about privileging or advancing one viewpoint over another, or about stifling opinions we disagree with or even find abhorrent.
And supporters say incidents involving free speech are not new, and they don't always involve major universities. For instance, students who oppose abortion wanted to hand out flyers at Columbus State Community College in 2013.
Columbus State had a free speech zone policy which essentially limited this student's ability to hand out these flyers to less than 1% of the campus in terms of acreage.
Those free speech zones would be history under this bill, among other things.
It prevents hecklers' vetoes by prohibiting universities from disinviting speakers based upon the potential reaction, opposition, offense, or irritation taken to that speaker's expression. It makes student activity fees optional. It requires universities to distribute student activity fees in a manner that is neutral to each organization's viewpoint and expression. So in other words, if you're going to charge a fee for one student organization, you're going to charge the exact same fee for all student organizations, regardless of the organization.
But there are questions about this proposal, and the ACLU of Ohio is taking a close look at it.
Universities sometimes walk a tightrope here between enforcement of their non-discrimination policies and free speech. So many times those things can collide on campus. We understand both sides of that, but we think by and large, of course, it's the First Amendment that wins out. But you know, the problem with constitutional law and law in general is much of this can be very nuanced, specific to individual situations. So we want to make sure that this bill will be striking the right balance there and keeping all of these concerns in mind.
Striking a balance could be the key for lawmakers who support this bill if and when it gets hearings, once legislators come back to the State House in a few days. Joe Ingles, State House News Bureau.